officer for Funzi. It talks of the Republican front. You can find more on the freedom of expression and the Republican front as stipulated by Mutation Reitsiaga and training. The paper reports on the code for faker foot. And we move forward with this ghastly road accident at Bogo, a locality in the northern part of the country. Away from that story, let's make a stop over now with Cameroon Tribune. Cameroon Tribune of Marikle Nana for this morning is reporting on the threat and ban on in the Fundi division. It talks of the senior divisional officer explain. That is what you can find on that said paper for today. Circulation of toxic product. The paper is reporting on logging danger and beer. Prices of beer remain unchanged. Get to read more on page 10 to 11 this morning. From Cameroon Tribune, we move forward with African Info. African Info for today talks of the secretary, talks of the ministry and the reporting of a certain secretary who is celebrating billion of CFA francs in Cameroon. And government reshuffle, cabinet reshuffle. The paper talks of why the new team of the cabinet reshuffle will be conducted only after the 2025 presidential elections. You can find more on that paper for today. The Fiat 12 for this morning. Quotidian Economy for this morning talks of the transfer of funds to CDEG. Our projects. Get to read details on that said paper. Inflation. Marwa is the most expensive town to live in Cameroon as attained by the month of June in 2024. You want to find more on that said story on that publication for today. The Guardian Post of Christian Gar for this morning reports on as 2025 presidential elections gathers momentum. Panicky regime issues riot act to gank opposition. And in that said paper, at launch of Cameroon's digital skill campaign, Antique General Director General Professor Ebode put in no cause for investment in digital education of youth. Boya Douala Marwa road accident, landslide kill 13 within 48 hours. And Yaoundé man wins over 48 million CFA francs after stacking 1,500 francs with Paris Aubin Camerounais Mutual, known for short as PMUC. NCC threatened to sanction journalists over unruly TV guests. Get to read more. That's a paper for today. World Bank wants 8 million Cameroonians threatened by extreme poverty. Get to read details on that paper for this morning. From that publication, we move on to La Republique. La Republique of newspaper for this morning talks of governance, Electricity Development Corporation, known for short as ETC. It talks of the board of that said company who congratulate on the various achievements done by the management, according to La Republique for this morning. From La Republique newspaper, we move on to Le Japon. Le Japon of Karotamba talks of the eradication of epidemics in the nation. Ministry of Public Health deploys 150 new recruits on this fight of emerging diseases. Get to read more. That's a paper for today. The central post of the National Dam, the Ministry of Mine on the terrain as the Minister of Water and Water Resources and Energy, Gaston Elundu Somba, was on the ground there. And we cross over to the next publication, The Horizon. The Horizon for this morning is reporting on an opening of 15 ICT Africa summits in Yaoundé. It says Cameroon henceforth sole annual host in that said publication. The Interim Minister of Mines and Technology for Kalitus Gentry sets the record straight, and for services rendered to less privileged and communities. He says Bonjung Aku El Haj Lawan Bako gets achievement award. We move forward with 2 persons confirmed dead at the Great Support Market accident in Boya. That was yesterday. Politics newspaper for this morning says alert, more than 8 million Cameroonians will be suffering from extreme poverty as it will be happening in 2023. This follows a special United Nations organization report. And MMA Francis Ngannou is the president of PLF in Africa. And we move on to this other story of Telegram News. Telegram News for this morning talks of invention of the electoral calendar. It says they were putting the outing of Samuel Bilok. Get to read more on him on that said paper. And we move on to extortion, defamation of character, trouble journalist. Maurice Kamto comes out to search Simon Numba. You want to find more on that story on that paper. For today, we take you now to the next publication. Eglier du Sahel reports on the route Marwa Magai. Says 7 deaths recorded as a result of an explosion of gas in a bus service over there in Jala, a locality along the Marwa Maga stretch of road. And humanitarian alert, the Mayodani, more than 1,000 Chadian refugees would be suffering from a potential famine and food shortage, according to that paper. For today, quotidian emissions for this morning talks of the freedom, the climate of freedom of speech and the press in Cameroon. Get to read more on quotidian emissions for today. Transport of electricity, the hour of evaluation and infrastructure is here following the visit of the Minister of Water Resources and Energy, Gaston Elundu Esumba, to some measure electricity supply sites in the country. Far North region, about 4 persons died as a result of an inter-urban bus accident. Douala identification of all Azomot on motor taxis, commercial motor taxis. That is what you can write on that set paper for today. We move on to the Nigerian tabloid for this morning. We start off with the Punch. The Punch for this day says IOC still causing recruits on Naira for additional sum of the 2024 state budget. PDP governors ask federal government to fast track minimum wage talks, and in that said paper, Northern top applicants list federal government disturbs students' loan. And the sports paper Punch Sport Extra for this morning talks of dancing to Paris. We are talking of 8 days to the Paris Olympic in the French capital city of Paris, I beg your pardon. We'll move on to Paris Saint-Germain advance in on Osimhen talks, and Osman keen on UFC return, beat Madrid to Euro signing. Get to read more on that said paper for today. Daily News Hub for this morning is reporting on for criticizing Tinubu many Nyum's afflictions. You can find this on that paper. Why Shuaibu can return as a deputy governor, according to Obaseki. PDP star-frat flays of APC's Benin Palace demolition rumor. You want to find more on that paper for today. First News for this morning talks of domain treatment. This clearly tyranny. Nigeria's descending into dictatorship, according to the Labour Party. Edo Assembly appeals Shaibu's reinstatement as deputy governor. The metrics for this morning is telling us on 6.2 trillion budget increase. National Assembly passes bill for second reading. And in that said paper, student loan fund at last Tinubu launches scheme. We want to find details on that paper for this day. Away from the Nigerian tabloid, we come back to Cameroon. This time around, we move on to the Parliamentary Affairs newspaper. Ikoti Parliament for this morning talks of the promotion of import substitution policy by President Paul Biya. The Senator Francois Pune trains women in the Yaoundé 4 subdivision on how to engage or go about with the import substitution policy while making them self-reliant. Get to read more on the senatorial and female empowerment scheme by the senator there, Francois Pune, popularly known as Mami Nyanga. We move on to the reporter of Lucas Tenek for this morning. It talks on media debates inciting insurrection. Fundi Senior Divisional Officer dangles acts over journalists panelists. Get to read more. That's a paper for today. And Camtel equip Yaoundé International War College trainees with data security skills. And move on to Focalitus joint to Interim Minister of Mines and Technology. Dubious contractors, weeks of war and recognition. Chinwe Peter backs International Courageous Leader Awards. You want to find more on him. The mayor of Yaoundé the mayor of Bamenda to subdivision. And Critical Times for this morning says Yaoundé fire consume wine company Sonaving in the Sam neighborhood of Yaoundé. Kobac suspends idle funds transfer to CDEC. We move on to Cameroon export first aluminium ingots to the Islamic Republic of Algeria under the African Free Trade Agreement area. We take you to one of the last publications on our disposal up north of the country, the Lloyd Sahel of Gibe by Tama. For this morning, it talks of road infrastructures. It's the paper reports on the works that are unfolding by the Butumi company who is in charge of the roads over there in the locality of Kribi. Get to read more. That's the paper for today. Kwara Sambwa Waji, 7 persons killed in the Boko Haram insurgency attack. And drug, Far North region is one of the big consumers of hard drugs in the country.